Hey there, Gen V fans. Get ready to dive into the exhilarating world of the boys' latest incarnation. We break down Marie Moreau's jaw-dropping, traumatic introduction to her powers. As a result, she has her own set of motivations and desires. This time, they're on a college campus. And what could go wrong with sex-addled brains given godlike powers? Likewise, we will explore the gore and powers of each main character. For those unfamiliar with the boys, we want to give you some background on Compound V and how it plays a role in the episode and series. This episode sets the stage for what lies ahead this season as we unravel the mystery of Sam and how that drove Luke to meet his own demise. By the conclusion of the episode, we're left with Luke's mind and heart pounding blown all over us. Gen V God U has delivered an unforgettable experience, leaving us desperate for the next installment. So folks, thanks for joining us today as we walk you through the thrilling moments of unleashing the almighty Gen V God U episode breakdown. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment letting us know what moment got your blood pounding, and stay tuned for more epic adventures. Hell yeah, break down today's title.
Oh, all I heard was blood pounding. You're always so provocative with these. Okay, so episode 1 entitled God U. So for me, the title God U represents Garokin University, where you have these superhumans who have been injected with this compound V, and we have these powers as if they are God-like.
Speaking of powers and godlike, let's start by talking about Marie Moreau. Let's start with Brittany.
Yes, Marie Moreau. How you say it?
Moreau.
Marie Moreau. I love how they opened up with a black family sitting there praising that another African American got into the 7. That was powerful, and it wasn't just like what you would think you would want to see. It was a typical black family experience with the house looking cozy and comforting, with the 2 daughters on the ground trying to make the perfect photo for TikTok or Instagram or whatever social media they're on. And then her stomach cramping, and she goes to the bathroom, and her mom having that
intuition
that something's going on, followed behind her. And as she goes to the bathroom, she's honestly looks a little scared, a little nervous, because she's like, what is this? Excuse me. Oh my gosh, what is this? I just got my period. And so it scared her, but then the blood started floating up. So now she's even more scared because she's like, I don't know what's happening right now.
I'm scared.
But blood is floating out of my vagina into the air. What the shit is this? And then her mom opens, she falls because she's startled. And then her mom opens the door. And when her mom opens the door, her period blood slices through her mom's throat. What type of imagery is that? And her dad walks in, and it's like the blood multiplies and slices her dad, because now she's even more embarrassed that her dad is walking in. Her mom's on the ground, throat sliced from period blood. Now everybody's dying from period blood. And she's just sitting here like, what in the world just happened? And then her sister walks in. Bloody Mary.
This literally has no comparison to any other first menstrual on site for any female in all of history. Like, we have these conversations. Can we speak to that for just a second? You're like, oh my God, as a female, I'm getting my period. Worst day ever. No, literally, for Marie Moreau.
Worst day ever.
Worst day ever.
Like, who thought of this?
Her name is too close to Marie Laveau for me, though, but I'm gonna leave that alone.
I thought the same thing.
I did as well. But I do like the Bloody Mary reference, though. So for our ladies who are part of us, you kind of sort of talked about it, but how traumatic of an experience is it getting your period for the first time?
It hurts. It hurts so bad.
And if you're not in a family, so being from a Black family, right? And I want to just put us out there like that. Sometimes we don't talk about things. If you're from one of those families that don't talk about the body and how things kind of work, and you get surprised with your menstrual cycle and you don't know what's happening, you think you're dying. So it can be very traumatizing, even more so just depending on what your family structure is like. If you haven't had those pre-conversations and you're bleeding out of your hoo-ha and you're like, whoa, what's going on? I'm 10, because we're not all the same age when it happens. So the maturity level is just different. You can be 9 and it's like, but wait a minute, I was just trying to go to recess. Like, what is happening?
It's so scary. The first time it happens, it's so scary. And then you keep wanting to check it to make sure you're not bleeding through your pants. It's just, oh my gosh, you're super young. You're at school. You don't know how you feel. You don't know who to talk about. You're cramping and it's uncomfortable. You're in pain. And everybody just wants to play. And you're like, just sit down and shut up.
Okay. So let's talk about the trauma of the experience. So not only did you have this for the first time, on Flo, but you've killed your parents.
Yes.
Is this a long-lasting? Okay, I didn't kill my mom, but I know how it felt when she died. So I can only imagine knowing that you are the reason why your parents have died.
That's awful.
Chad, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, like you, I didn't kill my parents either, but I know how I felt when my mom died, and to have that. One, you're going through the grief of losing your parents, but then you're the reason you're having that grief anyway. And you've also like orphaned yourself and your sister. You're dealing with all of that in like a split second. And if my math is right, she's like 10 when this happens, 10 or 11. So I can't imagine what a kid that young, like you're dealing with this big body change, and then, which is a thing in itself. And then you murder your parents by accident. No, you had no intention to do it, but you got to live with that. And as we learned in the episode, the ramifications, what happens with her and her sister because of that. Like I'm the fact that she's even still around to get to this point is a testament to her will to like correct the things. Because most other people, that's just a whole lot to deal with at that young age.
They would have gone batshit crazy.
Right.
So speaking of that, Corey, so to add to that, she has powers.
The other thing, she has powers, but on top of that, the guilt, the I don't want to say the chip, but that extra weight that she has on her shoulders as a result of all the other things that she's dealing with, and then having to deal with the process of what to do next, as we see a little bit later with her life and what's her life path, and all the struggles that are ordinarily come with being a person of color in the system, quote unquote, right? I think it just makes for a really, really, really strong-willed character. Let me ask this question though: do you think that this character of quote unquote struggle is one that we've seen?
Oh, Interview with a Vampire. What's her name?
Claudia.
Claudia.
Yeah.
Claudia, when she came back
Similarities.
Yeah.
Similarity, not a parallel, but definitely similarities.
Yeah. I could see it.
My reason for saying this is for Black characters. Do you think that why do we always have to be the character of struggle?
Andre's not struggling.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but
He is though.
Well, I mean, all the characters are.
Well, yeah, Andre did kill somebody.
They
too.
all got
Almost killed
they
somebody.
all got something going on with them.
They are teenagers on drugs. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Andre is in the limelight. Even before everything happens with his friend with the murder-suicide, he's still struggling with issues with his father. You can kind of tell he doesn't really want these powers. So, there's that. And then he's a Black male.
I don't know if he doesn't want the power. I think he just doesn't want the attention that comes along with the power because he saw his dad. And I don't think he's really rocking with his dad on so many different levels.
I agree.
Not at all.
No, because they realize that their parents have shot them up with Compound V.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
Right.
yo, you did this to me. I could have lived a normal life, but your ass wanted to get rich or wanted to get a come up. So you gonna stick me with some drug that you have no idea what it's going to do to you.
Drug.
But hold on, but counterpoint, Brittany. So like you mentioned getting rich being the motivations, and I'm curious. I have no idea. I'm not sure if there's a book to go along with this, but was every parent that got allowed their child to be injected with Compound V motivated by money, or was it something else?
Chad,
what else could it be?
What else could it be but that change?
Right.
Power.
By the time we get to these characters, I think most of it is motivated by money and fame and like notoriety. Now like the older one's like his dad, maybe I would think that's around the time they're experimenting with that. So maybe they
because of a disease or something.
Yeah, black people have a history of them doing stuff to us and not telling us. So like for the older ones, yeah, right. So the older ones maybe they have a legitimate beef, like my parents were experimenting on, and I just ended up like this. But the way, just from the boys to this itself, it seems like the kids of this age, their parents knew what they were doing. So some of them might have been altruistic and like, my kid's going to be the next great superhero. But everything in this world tells us that they either want notoriety or they want money, they want fame, and they can get that through their kids having these powers.
Can I say too that how much we cannot stand the parents? I loathe the parents in this show. And
they are garbage.
The garbage. And
they're
already I wasn't a fan.
Pageant parents.
Yes. What was toddlers and tiaras? They basically they kick their kids out. But can I say that I also cannot stand Sean Patrick Flannery in this role as polarity? I can't deal with him. I already wasn't a fan. Excuse me, any Sean Patrick Flannery fans out there. I hope he doesn't ever see this. But I'm not a fan. I've never liked him in any role. I feel like...
Damn, not any role? Not even Save the Last Dance?
That started it. I could not.
Especially not Save the Last Dance.
Especially not Save the Last Dance.
He always play the token, don't he?
He does. And in this role... Hey. He is token, told that line boy, told that line boy.
I still like him though.
And some people get typecast. It happens.
Jermaine, what is it?
Still playing a token in this show.
He is. I like him though.
I like him. I want to see him take his shirt off. How about that?
Okay.
I wouldn't be mad.
I'll give you that.
Sugar pop daddy vibe.
His 60-year-old self.
I mean, I'm more excited for Jensen Ackles and whatchamacallit than I am him. So.
I wonder which episode we're going to see Jensen Ackles.
I don't know, but I want to watch it.
Chad, do you happen to know?
I do not. I figured he would show up, but I had no idea which one. I would imagine this. How many episodes is this thing?
It's 6 or 8. 8.
It's 8?
Amazon Prime normally does 8.
It's 8. It's 8. I thought it was.
You sound like you're guessing.
I don't know. I thought I knew, but obviously I don't.
No, it's 8. It's 8. I'm looking at the wiki page now. I don't think you see him before 6.
Yeah, I would expect to see him towards the end of the series. All right, so we already talked about the trauma that Marie went through. All right, with all that blood.
Her sister doesn't want to talk to her.
Sister doesn't want to talk to her, but excuse me. But yeah, you also want to talk about the gore of the episode.
Love it.
Oh yeah.
Listen, okay. I'm here for the Quentin Tarantino, just messy, unnecessary gore when it comes to shows or movies or what have you. There's a lot of gore in this show, and it was unexpected. And if I'm being honest, I didn't watch the trailer. I just went in blind to watch the show and fell in love. So it's like just enough comedic relief, to balance the gore and then the drama, and then you have the supernatural just all married into the mix. So I am like so horny behind this show. It's so good. I love it. Like I am not upset at all about the gore. It is
the moment she punched the nuts.
Can we please talk about her? Like that was a good segue. Okay, into cricket. It really was. Like, I mean, I'm not a man. I don't have a penis. I don't want a penis. But I can only imagine, this guy, he just don't have what's necessary. And he's like, hey, want to hang out?
You don't have a big one.
Good look.
But the way the way he brought up the idea.
It just, God bless her. She's a trooper. She's like, he's like, is this the biggest one you've ever seen? She's like, relatively. Like, dude,
no, kick my nuts.
She should have crawled up his chocolate starfish is what she should have done.
Oh no. Not his chocolate starfish.
Better thing coming though.
There's a better scene coming. So let's do this. Let's talk about the main characters and the powers that they have. I want to start with Corey. Corey, give me one character and the power that particular character has.
So, well, since we already mentioned cricket, the power to enlarge and to also get smaller, which is
By
really unique to the
how
show.
does she do this?
And purging through purging, she gets smaller, and then she eats in order to get bigger, which is a really unique. It's unique in the way that it was done because you don't typically see that. Marvel was spoiled because they kind of do it, but she has to go through some kind of trauma, it seems, in order for her to use her powers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really sad too.
It is
Yeah.
sad.
It seems
It
like
is
it's
sad.
affecting her mentally.
It
The only
does, and
time
you
she
can see the
seems
effect on
happy
her
is when
character.
right? The only time she seems happy is when she's a small cricket and she's fighting her hamster on her YouTube channel.
But
Like,
is she though? I
she's,
mean, we're kind of getting into episode 2, but I don't know if she's happy being cricket.
you know what?
I
You're right.
think that
It just
I
seems
think
more
that she would
gimmicky.
prefer. Yeah, I think she
You're
would prefer
right.
to have a power that was a little bit more quote
Mainstream.
unquote respected or mainstream. And because she also wants that notoriety, but I think she wants it because of, I don't know. I think she wants it to be self-sufficient, honestly.
Maybe that's why they put Marie and Cricket in the same room because they both have powers that are not conventional.
Could be.
Well, they're both of their powers are traumatic to use. I mean, Marie,
Yeah.
she has to actually cut herself. So she's
And
she's
Cricket has
literally a
to purge.
cutter. Yeah, and
She's
Cricket's
literally
got a
a cutter.
purge. So
Yeah.
not traditional powers, and you have to go through a trauma every time you use it.
I
I'm
think
also
that
surprised they're
Until
not a
she's
little
not.
bit more thrown off because of it. Like they're not a little bit more thrown off because of it. Like
I want to
Cricket's
see
not a little
Marie
bit
use
more
her power.
emotional.
Brittany, what were you saying?
I want to see Marie because she's using blood. So I want to see her use her powers without having to cut.
You're not current. Can't be if you're making that statement.
I saw episode 2, but I'm saying we're in
No,
episode 1.
beyond that.
Beyond
Because
that.
keep watching.
I'm on
Keep-
episode 4. I need to rewatch.
I implore you to keep watching because she doesn't have to cut herself to use her power, and it's pretty amazing. I'm gonna say that.
Where have I been?
No spoilers.
Not for the other person, but
Oh, I haven't got that far, but
I forgot about that one.
I will never forget that part.
So thank you, Corey. Thank you for telling us about Little Cricket. Let's go to Brittany. Brittany, give us another character and their powers.
Ooh, Golden Boy.
Ooh, do tell.
So Golden Boy is basically the all-American. He's like Captain America, except he can set himself on fire. He can also super strong, jump high. He can fly. He can do really, literally anything. He's so smart. He has all the powers. He's the Wonder Boy. He has all the powers that everybody would want, but he's not. He's still not happy.
That goes to his trauma.
Mm-hmm. Especially with his brother.
I ultimately don't understand though. There's a part that I don't understand as it relates to his character. Like the why. Like why? Why do it? Why did he do it? Why did he kill himself? Why?
Maybe he thought that by killing himself, it would bring attention to the situation. He'd already killed someone, and he pretty much knew what his fate would be, dealing with Vought. You know what I'm saying?
And they knew what they would do to him.
And
Right.
I think at this point, you gotta picture that he's in a complete state of mania at this point. So he's not thinking rationally. I don't know if he set out to kill himself in the beginning. He did put a plan in place. With the things that he did. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I don't know if the plan was to kill himself. I really think there was some type of mania there.
Well, no, I think he went in there with that plan to do what he did at first. It's not until they're out in the open and he sees the people gathering around and the pictures taken. That's when they show that shot of him thinking about it. And I think it's the fact that he knew he could get away with the first thing because there was nobody. One, nobody was there. Two, when there's only like 2 people there, he is still literally the Golden Boy. And as we see, all of this is like corporate scheming and how they can spend stuff. They can spend 2 people dying. He still comes out looking good. When you have the actual evidence of everything he's done and he's looking around, and I think in that moment, he freaks and he's like, there's no way out. There's no way to spin it. So I don't know what's going to happen to me. So if I just do, and he just did that, he decided to end himself. But I think it wasn't until he stopped and saw the crowd that he really decided to do it.
Brittany, give us another character.
Ooh, Andre.
Ooh.
Oh, no. Kate.
Kate. Okay. All right.
I like Kate. I like how Kate was able to touch somebody and basically manifest what she wants by touching them.
I would never be sexually dissatisfied. I'm telling you right now. Never. Not as Kate. Oh no. I'm gonna get exactly what I want.
Again.
Go away.
He said, again. Who told you to stop?
Again.
I want you to keep touching this spot until the sun comes up in Asia.
Okay. Oh yeah, a character.
My character would be London. The ability to turn from one gender to the next.
Oh,
So-
Jordan Lee.
What did I say? London. Jordan. I'm sorry. Jordan Lee and whatever. But I like this character. Like, comes off very prickish. And as I have continued to watch, I have fallen in love with this character more. And I'm like, what is happening? But I don't want to give any spoilers. But like, I really like this character because we find that you're extremely powerful for one. You know, Marie Moreau is definitely capitalizing off of what you did. So that's a whole nother struggle between those two characters. But it's like at first you come off as a prick, and at the same time you're a little bit humble. There's a little bit of humility in there, you know. And then later we find out the struggles that character has. But that is one of my favorite characters. You have the ability to change your gender at will, and you have this superhuman strength. So much so that you're able to go up against Golden Boy and give him a run for his money.
And punch in the balls.
And punch some balls.
That's why I love this show. Everybody's getting punched in the balls.
I mean, I'm loving this character. This character is bros before hoes and clits before dicks. I'm with it. I am with it. The best of both worlds.
So I guess I will go. Andre. What is his last name? Andre Anderson, I believe it is. Andre.
Yeah, Andre Anderson, AA.
So Andre has the ability to move metal, and because he has the ability to move metal, that means that he can make things levitate. He can also do things with a computer. Like, who saw that coming? Open and close doors, turn metal into some type of design and make it float. I mean, he could do a lot. He could, it sounds a whole lot like Magneto. I'm assuming that he got a similar power as his father, since his father said, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead.
Polarity.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that it's a similar power as his father. But I really feel like because of his situation with his dad, he's not using his full potential. I think he can do so much more. Chad, you're shaking your head. What's going on?
Oh yeah, I'm just agreeing with you. Yeah, he's clearly not vibing with his dad, and I think he liked having Golden Boy around because, like you said, he doesn't have to live up to his potential. He can just, as long as he's here, I don't ever have to be what my dad wants me to be. I think there's a little bit of that. He knows his dad wants him to be number one, and whether it's out of spite or not really want to do it at all, he can just sit back and let Golden Boy do everything. But now he's thrust up into it, and he's still rebelling because he still didn't show up. We'll get to it in episode 2, but he still didn't show up when his dad wanted him to the most.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love what Jermaine said. Like, it's giving Magneto vibes. Well, their whole power is polarity, so that has to do with magnetism. So that's not by accident. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I also like the fact that his character is, I'm not going to say bi-curious, but he's definitely bisexual or pan or whatever. And this is not the first time that he's played a character like this before. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
And so, my little antennae.
Yes.
Corey,
You made my heart beat fast, Sabrina.
Do tell, Corey. What do you mean?
Think about divorce before you start saying anything. All right.
Okay. So we talked about the trauma, Compound V. We talked about the gore. Any more comedic moments in this particular episode?
I kind of like the way that they kind of play off each other, the characters do in terms of the dialogue and the writing. I can't remember one particular instance, but just in general, because it's much like The Boys, like the characters depend on each other. So the jokes, the sex, all of that is just, I love it.
Raunchy advertising, right?
That too.
To me, that is so funny. Like, it's so raunchy. And it's like, yeah, come on over to Godolkin. Look at what we've produced. And we've done this. And I'm like, this is so cheesy. Like, I love it, though. It was so funny.
I love it.
Not a funny moment, but just a thought that I had. It's kind of like, okay, so someone said it, one of you, I don't remember who said it, but when Golden Boy killed Professor, whatever his face,
Brinks.
he felt like he could get away with it. And I agree. And when they went out to the club and Andre slit the throat of someone and they were like, let's go, let's leave. They clearly have killed people before.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
And so much so that the next morning, Andre is only worried about his hangover. No worries, no thoughts about whether or not someone lived or died. You know what I'm saying?
Just callous.
Very, very callous. I agree.
They're so used to Vought covering it up.
Right.
I feel like that was a pivotal moment for Marie, though, because her whole life she's feeling like I'm a screw up. I have completely ruined my life and my sister's. But in this moment, I'm able to repair life. I'm able to, to use my powers for something that's not traumatic. So I think that was a good, it was a horrible situation, but it was a good setup for her to be like, okay, all right. I'm not the worst person on earth. So,
and then here come Brink coming in, messing it up.
And like on Chicago, he had it coming. He did.
He had it coming.
He had it coming.
By the way, I thought that was extremely short-sighted on his part. All the deaths that they're involved in, and you have somebody who could actually save someone's life, and you want to expel them. That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense.
I just think that from the moment he saw her, was just like, you're just pretty. That's all you are. You're just pretty. We're just gonna put you in this category, and that's it. You can't come over here. I don't like your talent or your power. I don't like your background. You're not good on paper. So we're just gonna put you over here, and that's it.
Chad?
I can only piggyback off of that because that's 100% what it was. It was, she's an afterthought because we can't, market you. Like if you just looking at the top 10, there's a whole bunch of pretty people with a whole bunch of flashy powers that people like and make sense. And while she is very attractive, she's the girl with bloods coming out of her hands. And what am I going to do with that? I have to put more work into that. I can just put you over here. You can be pretty, and I ain't got to worry about you. And I think that's how he approached it.
And it kind of came off of like, how dare you, little girl, come in my office and try to talk to me about what you're going to do. It was very condescending. Very condescending. So that's the first introduction to him. I was like, I cannot stand you. I don't like you. I hope they kill you.
You got your wish.
To me, it's giving affirmative action. To me, it's giving affirmative action because why would you let me in and you don't even want to be bothered with me? Like, what? It doesn't make logical sense.
And it's sad. She was so excited to meet him.
Corey, I see you shaking your head.
I think that there may be more to that's to come. I don't know if we're going to get it this season or what, but I'm sure there has to be a little bit more reasoning around why she did get in and why, or is it just a throwaway moment in the show that they just kind of needed something to get her there and so that the story can really begin. I also think it's interesting with her character specifically that they chose to keep her good. Whereas in the Marvel universe and DC, someone with those types of powers that are less attractive, not flashy, are typically the characters that, there are a couple of exceptions here and there, are typically the characters that are on the darker side of the comic. I think of Marrow and some of the other comic book characters that have weird and unusual. Toad is another one. Unusual powers. They are always in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants or et cetera, et cetera.
Chad?
I guess I can just fill in because when you said Marrow, I think that's probably the best comparison because her whole power, for those that don't know, she's in the X-Men. She was an X-Men. I think she was in the Brotherhood at some point. But her whole thing is she's like pink, and her powers is she pulls out bones and uses them as weapons. So like she has these protrusions that come out, and she just like pull out this elbow bone, and she's got a dagger, and she use that to fight people off. And it's it's unconventional. And I remember seeing it when I was a kid, and I'm like, it's a weird power. It's just not something that you normally see. And yeah, you're right. When you get those weird things, it's just easier to make them on the other side, or what we would consider good than
right. And I like how they're not doing that with this. I like how they're not doing that with this.
Well, you've seen more than I have, so I hope they keep her on the path that she was on. But with this show, you get those peaks of gray because we've already seen a little peak of gray with her in episode 2.
Okay. Okay. Any scenes that kind of stood out for you? Let's start with Brittany. Any scenes that
Oh,
stood
okay. I know this is gonna be weird, but the very beginning scene stood out to me where the guy was watching porn, and immediately she came with the wet wipes and wiped it off, and I said, "That baby got home training. Who, who taught her?" I said, "Where is this coming from? She has home training. She is in a prison system." And she said, "Not today. These are germs, and I am not going to deal with this today." And I loved it. I love that. That had to be one of my favorite scenes because I was like, who is raising this girl? She is raising herself. And she has this moral value system and this air about her of she knows what's right and she knows what's wrong. Who taught her that?
out? Was it germs or ejaculation?
Both.
Well,
Both.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if this is the wrong episode, but I'm gonna just say cricket on that penis when she got little.
Yeah.
Like,
That was mine. That's this one.
it was like, I've never seen anything like it on television, and I was amused, disgusted, and everything else because it's like, it's hard out here for a woman already. No pun intended, but. Like I got to do all of this just
a little hard. Just a little hard.
a little hard, but I got to do all of this to excite you. Like, come on! Like, how is this pleasurable for me? Like, how? I am not getting anything from this. This is a one-sided situation. I'm already damaged mentally and feeling some type of way. I just wanted a little attention, and then now you want me to do some weirdo stuff to you? I want to tap you on the balls? Like, this is too much.
Too much.
I could have had a V8. This is too much. I'm Alice in Wonderland in my shit, and you don't respect the genius for real. You don't. You're just trying to get your freak on and make your penis look big. No.
I was waiting for the camera to come out.
You know what?
I
I was like, why else ask her to do this unless you're recording it? Like, come on, man, you got to be recorded.
Because he's gonna expose himself and his microscopic genitals.
Well, it might look large. It might look large.
It didn't. It didn't. Even with her on there, it did not. I felt so bad for him, and it was so lifelike looking. I was like, "Is this real?"
How am I on the base and the tip at the same time? And I don't got.
Oh boy.
I don't understand.
How is this possible? And it wasn't that far of a drop to the ball.
Oh, Lord.
Don't unfollow us.
Well, Chad, you said that was your memorable moment as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When as soon as I saw it, I'm like, my mouth just dropped. I'm like, what is this shit? Like I'm trying to visualize how this works, and I still don't get what he's getting out of this because outside of
seem like nothing's to be happening. It don't
exactly, it's just like she's just playing on the pole with the little short pole. But I guess the whole thing is that it's not short anymore. If it's little person, that's all he got. Because I mean, like I've watched all the other episodes of The Boys, and I didn't think I would have a reaction like I did for the season 3 with the other little person.
Orgy?
Yeah.
Orgy?
that was
Hero
a
Gasm.
good one.
Hero Gasm was just
Oh Lord Jesus, I love that. episode.
Hero
That
Gasm
good
was a
episode.
show.
I like
Yeah.
that episode.
That
So
was
when-
wild.
I didn't think they would go straight into something else kind of like that off top in this one, but I was like, well, I guess we doing this. This is how this is going.
Yeah.
This show was made for people our age. Corey, your favorite moment.
I think that was my favorite moment, and I'm not sure if what episode this one is what it's with cricket. I think this might be a little bit later. Never mind. I'll say for right now, that's my favorite moment.
I really like cricket.
I do too, as a character.
I like her.
Episode 1, I was just kind of like, but as it went along, yep, fell in love
As
with
it went along.
I like how she embraced Marie from the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really do. Like she made Marie feel like I'm gonna be your friend.
Mhm.
Okay, you don't have a choice. This is just how it is now. I really like that.
Now, my favorite moment, we kind of talked about it already. It was when Jordan Lee was fighting Golden Boy. And, well, first of all, that entire scene, the two of them fighting, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Is Golden Boy supposed to be like number 1? Because to me, it looks like Jordan Lee ought to be number 1 because he's holding his own and actually he's holding back. So, but it was that moment when she hit it and it did.
Jiggled.
And by the way, that wasn't too big either. And he was hard. Why was he hard? Can somebody tell me why he was hard? Why he was fighting? Can somebody explain? Corey, What's
I don't
going-
know. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I got questions.
I have questions. I do too. I have so many questions.
Oh well. Anything else that we want to talk about for this particular episode? Nothing? Okay. So thank you all so very much for joining us. Don't forget to kiss the subscribe button, click on the like button, share us on all your social media, nibble on the notification button, and make love to our senses in the comments. Until next time.